Hello and welcome to the For the Content podcast, episode 16. I am Colesy and I am joined here by my co-host, Rapskilian. Hello.
Hi, my
Hello.
name's Rapskilian. Just
Yes,
nice to meet you guys. Finally.
Hello. Nice to meet you. We haven't met you before. It's been 15 episodes. Let's start the podcast how we always do. How are you doing?
Doing good. I found out I have an addiction.
Oh, cool. I also have a bit of an addiction story, so that's fun. Go on. What's your addiction?
I think Coles is probably going to guess what it is.
Oh, is it the game, was it Foxhole?
Foxhole, yeah.
Yeah. Mine is also a game. That's handy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, finally. Gaming's the first topic we talk about. So I got a day off from Wednesday till Sunday.
You've got a day off from Wednesday to
Like
Sunday.
from days off until like from off. I'm off from work from Wednesday till Sunday.
Wow.
So
So much free time.
So much free time. My wife was like, every time, what are you doing in the office at night? I was like, I'm working on YouTube videos, which is a lie because I'm playing Foxhole.
I mean, you could say that was working on a video.
Well, I recorded a bunch of footage for it, and it is. Oh my god, dude. Oh, just like I don't know if anyone in chat has ever like played this game before. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Like last night, we were in Fort Red in the northern part of the Warden's territory, and we were getting bombed, the living crap out of us. We were in trenches. We didn't have any artillery, so I went down south and joined the regiment, and we made like 4 250-meter artilleries, moved them up there, and we just annihilated them. This morning when I checked on the server, all that progress was lost because everyone logged off at the same time.
Yeah, that's the problem though, isn't it? I mean, the point of the game, it's an ongoing war, but
yeah.
I mean,
last night we did destroy a lot of their supply chains and also other parts. So you'll have to see the future because
you made their lives hard, so that's
oh,
okay.
I made it hard as hell, and they made my life hard. So, what's your addiction?
So, I'm going to blame you entirely for this. So, after your recommendation, talking about Marvel Snap last episode, right? Now, as I said, I don't really like Marvel. Well, it's not I don't like it. I just don't care. I'm not into superheroes. Fine,
Okay.
Whatever. So I hadn't played the game. You recommended it. You said, it's a good game, though. And I was like, being as Raps has told me it's good, I'll give it a go. So I downloaded it and installed it on my phone a couple nights ago. And I started playing it, and I was like, yeah, it's okay. I played solidly for 3.5 hours till 2 in the morning. I haven't played it since because I was like, I might have a problem with this game. I actually really enjoyed the game. Like, even if you take away the fact that it's like superheroes and I don't care, the game itself is a fun game.
It's a very fun game.
I like the tactical nature of it, and you being like, oh, if I put this card down, then they might put that. So I've got to think tactically like, oh, I'm going to have to deliberately lose one of the locations, but
just to
knowing
win, right?
that I can get the other two, so I'll still win.
Yeah,
It's a pretty fun game. It is a pretty fun game. Yeah, it's pretty good. 3.5 hours. That was a long time. It's ridiculous.
For a mobile game, that's ridiculous. That's quite extreme.
Yes, yeah. I was like, because I did the thing where, you know, you like rank up to like, oh, you're like level 15 or whatever. Or whatever it is. And I was like, I'll just get to 16 and then I'll go to bed. And then I got to 16, but I was like halfway to 17 at that point. So I was like, I'll just get to 17. And then eventually I was like, oh, but I'm quite close to bronze level. So maybe... And then I got to bronze, and then I was like, no, I really have to go to bed now because it's 2 a.m. But it's fun. It is fun.
It's a fun game. It's a really fun game.
Yeah.
I think whoever made it, they didn't make it like that. The problem with mobile games, what I always felt, is always they feel so mobile gamey. Do you know what I mean? It's a weird thing because when you start playing a mobile game, it's always a thing where it tells you the tutorial is like half an hour long.
Yeah.
And it's so convoluted that by the time you finish a tutorial, you're like, how do I do that again?
Yeah, you're kind of done with it, but you're
like, oh, I don't really want to do this. Because every time you want to start a mobile game, it's such a drag. You have to collect the gems here, speed build this, do this, then go here, and then click there, then tap there, then tap that. It's like this thing where it's like you feel exhausted at the end of it, and then you really have to be a super addicted person to continue playing after that. Marvel Snap doesn't do that. It just gives you a short tutorial. You play a few games against the AI, and then you just right into the game.
The games I like the fact the games are short. You know, you're in and out within 10 minutes or something of each game, and it's super simple.
Did you hear that? Oh, snap!
Yeah. Oh, dude, I was doing that like crazy. I'm like, yeah, that's right. I'll take 8 of you gems, you son of a bitch. I'm gonna win. Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. I liked it. It was fun. So thank you for the recommendation. I might play more, but I don't know because I've become addicted to it, and it's a problem.
Yeah, but so long as you're not spending countless hours and like countless dollars and pounds in it, then it's not a problem.
No, I just spent zero money on it. So
Me too.
Because there's no need. There literally is no need.
Yeah, just cosmetics.
I'm happy playing it. I'm enjoying it. There's nothing I'm missing out on. There's no stupid like gem recharge time crap. So you can just play. I mean, if there was, I wouldn't have been able to play for 3.5 hours because I would have been like, "Oh man, gems! I've got to wait 10 hours till I recharge." I hate that crap.
That's the Facebook era games.
Yeah, to make us feel old, I really like the classic, like the first decent mobile games that came to smartphone. You know, like when it was like Angry Birds, Cut the Rope. I enjoyed all of those. They were fun games.
I never really experienced those really because when those apps came out, I wasn't on Android nor was I on iPhone. I was still like Samsung's old like camera phone. Like I have it somewhere here. My kids used to play with it now. I took out the battery, obviously. It's like this old Samsung phone that slides up and down and has like a shutter on the back. So it's like it looks like an actual camera, like a little small handy cam.
Right, yeah.
But that thing was robust.
They were. Yeah.
Like what I used to do, and I can't believe I used to do this with my phone. I would just like throw it in the air and catch it.
Yeah.
If you see someone doing that now with a modern phone, you're like,
yeah.
Are you insane?
They just have money to burn because that phone's like £1,000 or whatever.
Yeah, like back in the day, I remember seeing my friends also like they throw the phones in the air, like catch it and shit like that. You can't do that nowadays.
No, I remember, but back when we had those older, crappier phones that weren't smartphones. Like I'd drop my phone. The back would come off. The battery would fly out. I remember I did it in the street, and my battery went under a car that was like parked, and I had to like try and crawl under to get my battery back. But then you just put it back together, and you're like, "Yep, all good." Yeah. If you drop your phone now, first thing you think of is, "Oh god, the screen. Oh, I don't want to pick it up because the screen's going to be smashed to pieces." Yeah, it's horrible.
Also, I had an N-Gage.
Oh, they were weird. I remember thinking they were really cool.
They were so cool.
They weren't cool.
They were. Come on. Forced Red Faction on the N-Gage was awesome, and the Elder Scrolls game was awesome. There was so many games that I wanted to get, but the store that sold the N-Gage games, they all discontinued with like by the time that I got the phone. So I only got Red Faction.
You had to actually buy the game like a physical game, right?
Yeah, it's a physical disc, like a physical stick. It's basically the Switch.
Wow, the N-Gage was the Switch.
Because it had an SD card you put into the phone.
Yeah.
And it loads the game.
I mean, I remember my friend had one and thinking at the time it was like, oh, that's the coolest phone. Like, you're the coolest person. But now looking back at it, you go, I mean, they were kind of crappy. Yeah, they tried. It's fine.
It was a step forward. I mean, Sony tried it a few times with the Sony Xperia phones, where they're like, "Oh, this is a gaming phone. This is a gaming phone."
It's like gaming on phones was not there. I remember I never had one. I never saw one in real life, but I think it was it's called a Sidekick. It was like a phone, but it slid sideways, full keyboard. I was like, that's the coolest thing
It was
ever.
the coolest thing ever, man. But all my friends had it, but I didn't have those. I had the Sony Ericsson.
No, I had, before it was cool, I had a BlackBerry.
I hated BlackBerries.
So there was a stage, when I remember being at school, there was a stage where everyone had a BlackBerry. It was like BlackBerry Bold or whatever, and everyone was on them, and BBM me. And at that point, I was already out of it. I had a BlackBerry before it was cool, because I was like, dude, it's like a full keyboard. It's like a businessman's phone. I'm pretty cool. Yeah. It was like blue. It was a piece of crap, but I mean, I loved it. Yeah. And then I went to iPhone, and you get stuck in iPhone.
You know, my old boss used to use a BlackBerry, and he's like, "This is the best thing ever." Like, no, it's terrible. BlackBerry
They were cool
they were
at
good
the
for
time.
business. For business,
Yes.
if you're a businessman, they were the best thing ever. But if you're like a normal
Or a
normal
teenager,
user,
apparently.
teenager,
because they bloody loved them.
you don't really need a BlackBerry. And
Well,
now
you don't need it, but you had BBM, you had a full keyboard, you could type really fast to text your friends.
I really like. It's weird because like after BlackBerry went kind of bankrupt, after Samsung started getting really traction in the market,
Yeah.
they launched an accessory for Samsung in South Korea where you could get like a keyboard cover. So you have a physical keyboard which just has like little nipples that touch the screen.
Okay.
For you.
Yeah.
That was like, so my one of my work colleagues, she bought that and she's like flips it over and it's like a BlackBerry logo and I'm like, ooh, how they have fallen.
Yeah, I think they've gone completely bust now, haven't they? I think.
Yeah, they tried to launch a Android phone. Oh no, sorry, so they launched a Microsoft phone.
I had one of those as well. I had a Windows phone.
I hate.
Ooh.
So when I worked in retail, every time someone came to me like, "Oh, I have an issue with my phone," I'm like, "Sure, let me see." And they took out a Microsoft phone. I was like, "Get out!"
Like, yeah.
Get
I had one. I thought it was cool at the time. I thought, oh, this is going to be, the same. Like Google's going to have theirs. Apple's got their version. The Windows is going to be another one. I was very wrong.
The thing is, what happened was Microsoft mishandled the OS so badly.
Yeah,
it was initially it was going to be a good, like everything they had in plan and en route was really good, but the OS was unstable. It would disconnect Wi-Fi's or the cellular. Like I remember putting a SIM card into a customer's phone, and I had to go manually and enter the cellular connection.
Yes, yeah, I remember doing
which
that.
I was like,
You have to like Google it and get all the numbers and be like, right, I need to, that, and then what's the password? Yeah,
why?
that. It should be automatic.
It's like
the
I
App
put
Store
SIM
was
card
bad.
in function. Yeah, there was many things, Colesy. It was
Because
many things.
I had, recently, my mum wanted a new phone. So they come to me because I'm the genius, obviously. I know the tech things. So she came to me and she was like, I need a new phone. I don't want to spend too much. And I was like, right, okay, we'll get you a decent smartphone. And in my head, it still happens that I'm like, Huawei are good. Like, I had a Huawei and I was like, oh, I liked my Huawei phone.
Mm-hmm.
But then I forgot that they're no longer allowed to use the Google. And so I got it for my mum and I was setting it up for her and I'm like, oh, you can't get any apps on this. This thing is awful. And I was like, right, I'm going to have to like sideload everything. And I was like, oh, this is going to take me forever. And I tried. And then eventually I went, Mum, I fucked up. We're going to send this back and we're going to get a different phone because this is crap. Because I keep seeing Huawei's pop up like on an auction site or whatever. And I'll be like, oh, nice. That's probably got like a good camera. And then I go, oh, wait, hang on. No, it's absolutely trash. Yep, they're useless now. They used to be good.
They used to be good. And once I lost the Google Play Store, everything went to shit.
Yeah, you're screwed. That's what Windows Phone, like you couldn't get half the apps on it. It sucked.
I remember one time a customer had an old Huawei phone,
and
he switched to Samsung because he wanted to get like it was a Samsung Note 7 or Note 8 he bought, and he really wanted to have the pen because he does a lot of work on it, and his whole entire business, which I told him, which is not so smart, was in the Huawei Notes.
Yeah.
All this company secrets, passwords, information, client information was all inside that app.
Yeah, that's not great.
And then he looked at me and he's like, oh, so when you transfer over my data, will my notes go there? I looked at him right in the eye and I said, no.
Nope, not a chance.
Because Huawei locks it onto their OS. So if you go to Huawei phone, the notes go transferred over there.
Yeah.
If you go from Samsung to Apple, the notes get transferred. From iPhone to Samsung, it gets transferred. But Huawei
they have got a lot better at it. Yeah, recently.
Huawei is the only one that locks their notes. And I looked at him, I was like, how many notes do you have? He's like, oh, like 10,000 plus. I'm like, you're gonna have to handwrite them over, my friend. Good thing you have a pen on your screen.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that used to be such a pain in the arse, changing to a new phone and being like, oh, what is going to transfer and what is not. And I'm going to have to manually remember or write it down I hated that crap.
Yeah,
I hated it.
Well, that was my job for a long
really
time.
easy now, so yeah. You
really
had to
easy now.
live it, so.
Yeah. Well, technology aside, but at the end of last podcast, I talked to Colesy about something that I found in my attic.
Yes, you
Do you
did.
remember?
It was a console.
A PlayStation 2.
Yes, it was.
And I want to talk about that a bit. Like, talk about game collections, because game collections for me is something quite personal.
Okay. Yeah, no, we can do game collections. I'm a collecty boy. I've got them Pokemon cards, you know.
And like, I counted all my games upstairs.
Uh-huh.
So it's over 190 cased games. Special games. When I say special, I mean
Special games.
They're not. They're the yar kind of games which I bought in Peru.
Oh, special game. I just
Special
thought you
games.
meant like sentimental or something. No, I mean illegal games. like this little card I have here. This little DS card that you can put a memory card in it.
Yeah.
You didn't see that. It's fine.
That's gonna get cut for the podcast.
I don't care. No one's gonna come after me about a DS cartridge. Jesus.
Those are about in the number of like 200 games.
Hmm.
And I was looking at it and I was like, dude, I have a lot of games. I've and I can't remember half of them.
Yeah. Well, you're not.
That's
going
the thing. That's the thing. And I was like, holy shit. Is this a bad thing? Is this a good thing or a bad thing? I really don't know. I felt personally conflicted, but also holding the games, and I looked up and when I look at the CD and I see the art on the CD, I'm like,
yeah.
It's like this flash of memory of like, oh yeah, I remember this one. That was so cool. And then I'm like, but I'm scared to either play it or look up a video of it.
What, in case it doesn't live up to your memory?
Exactly, because I remember playing Morrowind the first time.
Mm-hmm.
In my head, I had this magical adventure in my head where like the graphics were amazing and it was so hype. Now when I play it, I'm like, it's not the same anymore. It's not the same.
It's true. It's true.
I think the only people that can not have that issue is Nintendo gamers, because Nintendo remakes the same game over and over and over and over and over and over, and people keep buying it. It's insane. But
it's good. They're good.
No, you guys are problematic.
No, they're good. Look, they've got a formula. They know what to do. They do it.
Nintendo's taking the soup. It's like, just put some water in it and just like give it to the kids, and they're gonna be happy. And like, the soup is so rich and tasty. Water it down a little bit more. They're gonna still like it.
That's literally you. You said last week how you like rock soup. You've described yourself.
So, like, how many games do you have? A lot of physical games, or do you not have any more physical games?
So, I like the idea of like collecting games and stuff. Like, that's cool to me. But then, like, the games that are nostalgic for me are like N64, and it's just at a stage where they are so expensive. Like, if I want nice copies of them, like, I have some N64 games, but they're like playable. You know what I mean? Like, in a weird way, if I want to collect, I want like, I want the box and I want it to be fairly nice and stuff like that. That stuff's too expensive. And then I thought about like, I could maybe collect Xbox 360 because I like that. I had that when I was a teenager. But then I was like, there's about 1 billion games for that, and I don't care that much. So
yeah,
I've got a couple of sealed games. I've got. I mean, I can show you. Hang on, 1 second. 1 second.
Okay.
Back here.
Ooh, look at that booty.
So I got a couple of games. I bought these online because they're games that like meant a lot to me, or I liked as a kid.
Oh, I see already.
So I got Tony Hawk's Underground because I absolutely
great.
I love that game. So that's a sealed PS2 copy that's never been opened. And then I've got Mirror's Edge because I played the crap out of Mirror's Edge. Love that game. So I've got those two.
That's a good rock soup.
It's good rock soup. So I've got those two, and my intention with those is to get them graded and like put in like a slab, which I also have one of here. I have Elder Scrolls Oblivion,
Ooh.
And I got it. It's a sealed copy, and I got it graded because I remember. I think I preferred Oblivion to Skyrim personally because I played it a lot more.
Yeah.
And when Skyrim came out, I wasn't so into it. But yeah, I got this one all sealed and graded and stuff, so it's nice and protected, and it's just like it's like an ornament. Now, I don't intend to get like 100 of these because that would be crazy. But maybe the few that I have that are sentimental to me, more than anything, I'll get graded. I collect, Pokemon cards and crap like that. So,
the thing with my games probably will never be able to be graded because they're in terrible condition because they've been in the attic all the time, dusty and stuff like that.
But they're also your games. There's another aspect of that. Like, I wish I still had like my copy of Tony Hawk's Underground from when I was a kid because that would mean something to me. But I haven't. Yeah. So next best, I got a sealed copy. Yeah, it's fine.
I think my first ever console game on disc form I ever bought was Command & Conquer Red Alert.
I had that on PC. That was super fun.
So good. Oh, so many arguments.
Horribly cream. Those cream-colored PCs that were like really old. That's the PC I played it on.
I had a PC with like with a transparent blue plastic on the front.
Posh PC.
And then when you pushed it, it like went like whoosh, opened the disc tray. And
cool.
It was like, he's a gamer. It was terrible. I remember the PC overheating so many times.
Oh yeah, I think I remember my parents bought that PC because my mum was an accountant, so she needed to work from home, and this was when PCs were not everyone had one in their house, and it was your big CRT horrible massive monitor, and I think they went and they spent like £1,000, which I guess at the time a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that we had that in our house. Yes, but I mean, it was even more money. Like you could buy a house for like £20,000.
Crazy.
Yeah, but I remember playing like Red Alert, Doom. I had to had to use a floppy disk.
Oh.
What? Yeah, that was cool. It was cool.
Oh, did you ever have that thing where you put the floppy disk in, you play your games, and you forget you had the floppy disk in, you turn the PC off, and the next day you turn it on, and the PC won't start?
I don't remember doing that, no.
Because the old Windows, like Windows 95 and Windows 98, if you had a floppy disk in the slot and you started to put it to PC, it won't start.
Is it trying to boot off the floppy disk or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it did that. Maybe someone could tell us why. But that happened to me so many times, and I was like sweating fucking bullets. I broke the computer. I broke the computer. And also, I remember every time something happened on the computer, my dad's like, "It's those bloody games you installed in the computer. It's a virus." I'm like,
"Yeah." It was the same.
It's all the porn you're looking at, Dad.
It was the same for me. Every time that something went wrong with whatever family computer we had, whether it was a laptop or whatever, it was my fault, apparently.
Yeah, because you're the games.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
I remember with what's it called? Dungeon Master 3 or Dungeon Master 2.
Right.
I don't know if you ever played those games before, but there's you could go into first person view and take one of your minions in your dungeon.
Right.
And one of the minions was like an archer.
Mm-hmm.
And his vision was everything was like purple tinted.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm playing, and I zoom out and everything on the screen is still purple. Like, oh. Uh-oh. I quit the game and everything on the screen is still purple. I'm like, oh no, I broke the computer.
What? That's weird.
I freaked out. And our neighbor was like a computer specialist. He worked with the IT department and everything. So he came over and he's like, and he fucked with me so many times. He's like, yeah, you broke it. You broke. You have to buy a new monitor. Your dad's going to be so angry. He's going to give you a spanking. I'm like, he just
That's funny.
Goes to the monitor, turns it on and off. He's like, there, I fixed it.
Yeah.
I hate you.
Yeah. Well, look, that's part of the fun of being like a grown-up. Is like you get to sort of bully a child in a nice way, and you get to be like
traumatize them for a few minutes and like
it's look, you must do that as a parent sometimes. You'd be like, look, if you don't do that, then the demon's going to come and eat your feet, and they're like, oh, my feet, and you're like, no, just joking, but eat your vegetables. Yeah, seriously.
I'm a bad parent in that sense because I always tell my kids there's a ghost in the attic above our house.
I love winding my daughter up with that.
And I was like, if you don't behave, I'm gonna call the ghost. So sometimes when the kids like misbehave, I'm like, ghost. And my kids are like, Dad, no.
I do the same thing. I do this like something, like something will fall off the side or something weird will happen. Not that is actually paranormal, but then I'll turn to my daughter and be like, "Oh, must be the ghost of the house." And she's like, "Dad, stop it." I'm like, "Well, he lives in your room." And she's like, "Stop it." It's funny as hell.
Yeah, traumatizing kids. I mean, we have to pay for therapy later down the line, but it's worth the laugh.
Pay for your own when you're old enough. Grow up. God, get a job. Jeez.
My dad didn't pay for my therapy.
I haven't had any therapy, so bleh.
Collecting games was such a big pastime on my childhood. Like one thing I do remember about before the internet was such a big part of my life, I would go into a game store and just buy random games and then build my own opinion about it. And nowadays, you don't really do that. The first thing you do is you heard of the game from a friend and you look up videos on YouTube and you're like, you could see how the game is.
Yeah.
And then you're not really getting the blind playthrough anymore.
I remember doing the same thing. You'd go in, you'd look at all the like pre-owned games because they were cheaper, and you'd go through them and you'd look at the cover, the name, you'd look at the back, and then you'd buy the game. You have no idea, other than maybe a friend's recommendation. That's all you kind of had. But most of the time, you just buy a game because it looked cool.
Yeah, and friends usually exaggerated the shit out of the game. So like, oh yeah, this and I did that, and you play the game, you're like, this is half of nothing you said, you lying bastard.
It's because you have that thing of they probably did exactly the same thing. They went into the store, they didn't know anything, they saw the game, knowing nothing, bought it, and because you're a kid, you don't have a lot of money, you don't get a lot of games. So then they have to sort of justify the game that they bought and say, oh, no, it's actually really, really good. And then they tell you that, you buy the game, and you're like, it's not that good though, is it? You just, it's the only game you're going to get. And then what you do,
you justify your purchase because you just spent your pocket money on it. You're like, this is awesome.
This is awesome. Yeah. You just have to play it because it's going to be another 2-3 months or whatever till I'm allowed to buy another game or whatever. So I'm going to play the crap out of this, even though it's not that great.
Yeah. I think with like digital storefronts like Steam and the PlayStation Store, Xbox Store, where you could buy digital games and, you don't really get a grasp of how many games you have.
No.
And
it's ridiculous.
How many people, it's a meme. It really is a meme. People buy games and they never play it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How many bundles have you bought because there's like a game that you're like, oh yeah, I'll play that? Comes with 20 others.
I used to do that from, there was a store, I don't know what store it was. They sold kind of Humble Bundle.
Humble Bundle, yeah. I have so many of their bundles where I've probably played 90%, none of them. You know what I mean? Like, it's silly.
Like, you just randomly, like, or I would sometimes go on some of these, like, reseller keys sites, and I buy, like, 20 keys for, like, £5.
Yeah, done that.
And, like, sometimes it's like, oh, this is a shitty game. And once I'm like, oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
But then, I don't play. I don't play the games. I'm like, my wife always tells me, yeah, but when the kids are older, they're out of their house and they're playing, they're like old teenagers, they could do whatever they want. You could play games again. I'm like, yeah, but I'm going to be senile then.
No, come on. It won't be that long. Yeah, see, we think we're old, right? And we make the joke about how we're old and we talk about old things like, before smartphones and floppy disks. But, I mean, I feel like we're of a generation where we've grown up with video games. We're just going to be like in old people homes playing video games.
Yeah, exactly. And I hope so. I hope so. Dude, I'm going to be like like really, 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 really. I think if I ever win the lottery, I'm going to become a shut-in so bad.
Well, yeah. Why not?
This is like, I told my wife, like, she's like, oh, if we ever win the lottery, we're going to move to like Ibiza. I'm like, the internet is terrible there. I'm staying here.
Oh, you might be able to buy good internet. You don't know.
Yeah, but that's an investment I don't want to take. Like, I don't want to take the risk. Like, my wife also says she wants to move to Australia. I'm like, no, the internet is capped. There's a data cap.
Yeah, but also all the things that kill you in Australia, that's terrifying.
That's also like a secondary thing. Like,
secondary to the internet. That's my main concern. The internet. I might die by spider or snake, but the internet's rubbish. And
also games come out later, like before it was, which is weird. So I recently still see this happen. Like physical discs came like 2 months late to Australia. Right? Why do digital games still come out late?
It doesn't make sense, does it? No.
Doesn't make sense. Like, stop it.
It's like, but you could just make it downloadable. You could put it on a server. That's fine. That doesn't. Yeah, it's not hard. You don't have to ship anything. It's fine.
Do it.
I mean, it's the same argument why people are like, why are games so expensive now when I can buy it online, so you don't actually have to physically produce a disc? And I'm like, I guess maybe.
I know the answer to that question.
Well, games are expensive to make, I imagine, as well. Nope. So. Go on, tell me. Go on.
Retailers.
Yeah, well, they want their
PC
money.
PC games have never been as cheap as they are compared to when they were in retail stores.
Yeah.
The reason why console games, and particularly Nintendo games and Xbox games, are so expensive, and PlayStation games are so expensive in their stores, is because of retailers. Retailers are always warning console makers, if you lower your prices on your storefronts to heavily compete with us in a physical form, then we will not sell your consoles. That's what they did to Xbox in Switzerland. Xbox put out Game Pass. What did two of the biggest retailers do? They pulled all the hardware. You cannot buy controllers physically in stores. You cannot buy the consoles physically in the stores. You can only buy it online.
That's crazy. That is kind of crazy to think about.
It's ridiculous. And I talked to a representative from Xbox one time when he was in the shop. He's like, we have to pull all the products. All the physical games are getting removed from their stores because we launched Game Pass, and your shop, they're pissed off. They're like, oh, you're cutting into our profits. Because consoles, we make a slight profit, but we make huge profits on physical games and accessories.
Yeah.
There's a huge market for that. And because game fronts are becoming more popular, because it's like Steam and also PlayStation, but now PlayStation Now or whatever it's called, and Xbox Game Pass,
their version of it.
People are like, why should I go to a game store and buy games there when I can just physically download it? I don't need to go stand out in the cold in the middle of the night to get the newest Call of Duty. I could just push download on my PC.
I'm sort of sad that I missed out on that phase, though. I would have loved to have done it. I never did it, where you like camp out for a game that you really liked. I never got the chance to do that. I'd love to do that. I'd love to do that today. Yeah, it just seems like a fun experience more than anything. Like, yeah, the game, I want the game, but it's kind of cool. But no one's doing that, because why would you do that when I'll just wake up and click download? Why would I sit outside for 4 hours in the cold? It's true.
I did it for Modern Warfare 2.
All right.
So I went to my local GameStop and I took the earliest train to get there.
Yeah.
Because I had to work the day before, so I couldn't be like, oh, I'm just gonna bugger off. And I got there, and luckily, by the time I got there, I was like second person in line, fourth person in line.
Mm.
And the guy from the GameStop came, he's like, guys, I just want to inform you ahead. We have all the pre-orders ready, but free copies that are not being pre-ordered is extremely limited. We only got a very small amount. Yeah. And everyone on the line was like, oh, I didn't pre-order it. Oh, shit. I went. My friend asked me, because he didn't pre-order it, like, if you go there, can you give me a second copy?
Yeah.
And I got my pre-order copy. And I was like, oh, can I have another one? And the guy's like, oh, sure. And the pile was getting smaller. And the guy that was behind me, he just freaked out. He's like,
yeah.
Ah! Every time someone took an extra copy, like, ah!
That's funny.
He finally got it, and he was like, oh, you guys are scaring me. Like, no, you're scaring me.
Yeah, no. It's just, I don't know. It sounds like a cool experience to have been.
It's not that cool. It's standing. I don't know if it's a British thing that you guys like standing in queues.
We do love a queue. Yeah, no, you're right.
But no, I really don't like it, and I love the whole digital storefront. Like, I wanted to keep buying physical games for a long time.
Yeah.
But now that I have a family and space,
yeah.
like, I wanted to put a nice unit here, like a bookshelf, so I could put all my games in there, so it could be shown like in the background of the videos and streams.
Yeah.
And I've had very, very loud arguments with my wife about this. It's just like, no, we don't. That's not just like, because my office is half split with the laundry.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, but you shouldn't put it there because otherwise it's going to take half of the space of the room. Like, yeah, but you can still walk through. She's like, no. I'm like, ah!
So what are you planning to do with these 200 games that are just sat in your attic then? You're just going to keep them in the attic?
No, so like what I want to do is keep fighting with my wife.
I'm going to win eventually is what I'm going to do.
No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them down like 1, 2, 3 games, choose them out. I have to go up every time, and then I'm going to make videos about each game that I find.
All right, cool.
So what I'm trying to do is take a game and then I'm like, oh, okay, so this game is this game, and scroll up into the background of the game, give a little bit of information about the story of the game, development, if I can get some cool information about it, and then just generally talk about my experience by showing gameplay and then just give like a little review of the game.
Yeah, I kind of started to do a similar thing because I bought an Xbox 360 for like £10 with a bunch of games, and my brother still had a load of Xbox 360 games, so I was like, oh, we'll just do like a bit of a let's play on it. I'll do some information. I'll find out when it was released, how many it sold, that stuff, and we'll just play it and see what these games are like. Yeah. And I've done a few episodes of that, and I kind of enjoyed it. I don't think it went down too well. I don't think people really wanted to watch it, but I like the idea of it, so I sort of have that on the back burner. Got a bunch of 360 games to look through.
Well, we as small channels have the ability to do those kind of videos, those little passion projects where like no one watches it, but this is not more for the viewers, this is more for me.
Yeah, totally. That's one of like the most fun things is sometimes for example, right? Update on your package that I sent you. It has left the UK, so it's
I saw that this morning.
It's on its way. So I told you that I've got a surprise in there for you that I did.
Yeah,
and so that's in there. So when you
open that.
When you open the package, you should be able to find where it is because I put a little label in. Well, I put a little logo. I put a little Colesy Gaming logo in there because I realized I had one. So I put it in there. I've like made a hole in the foam of the packaging for the thing just so I could slip it in there so it would be safe.
Okay.
But then I thought, oh god, I really hope they don't like scan it and think there's some sort of drugs that I've tried to hide in the packing foam. But anyway, so you should be able to see it because I want you to. I want your reaction on like the podcast.
That's what I was thinking. Like, so I know one of the things you're sending me is the microphone stand.
Yeah, because you need a.
Can I open the box and take the stand and put that on the music?
That's why I kind of did it that way because I was like, I don't want him to not have to have his stand because he knows there's something in there. But you should be able to get the stand out and the other things like just it's a little. Like, it's only little, so you should.
Okay, so I won't be able to see it immediately.
Probably not.
Okay, I'll. I
mean, if you do, it's fine anyway.
No, because I was like, okay, I want to open it on the podcast and be like, look, this is from you.
So the whole thing is literally just because I wanted to do a thing, and I was like, can I make a reason to do it, or is it literally just me being dumb? And I was like, oh no, I can. Oh, maybe I can do something for the podcast, and that'll be cool. And then I've got a reason to do it, but really, I know it's just because I wanted to play around with something and do something. It's one of those passion projects, but I thought it would be cool.
Yeah.
I hope you think it's cool. We'll see.
We'll see. So, talking about passion projects, something that I've realized I have to do, and it's weird because I've always put it off, and I was like, this is going to be, I don't like doing this. And I did one stream of it, and I'm like, maybe this is a good idea. Minecraft.
Dude, I love Minecraft.
Everyone loves Minecraft. For me, Minecraft, I don't know, because like I remember playing Minecraft on the Xbox 360 and then the PC and falling asleep because of the goddamn music and becoming it became boring.
Okay.
For me back then. And I became exhausted. I burned out from Minecraft from the 360 days with my friends.
Uh-huh.
And I did a stream of it recently and it was like so much fun. And then my wife came to me. She's like, oh, I saw you streamed Minecraft like last time. I'm like, yeah, I was playing Minecraft on stream. She's like, why don't you do a secondary channel that's like super family friendly Minecraft videos?
Uh-huh.
And they'll probably get a lot of views.
Possibly.
And get a lot of kids to watch your videos. And I was like, Yeah, but honey, you don't know a thing about the Minecraft community. There's been a few incidents.
Well, I mean, that's the whole YouTube streaming
No,
community.
YouTube Minecraft community has a problem with those kind of people.
But why?
I don't, because the game is super attractive to kids, and they're like, "Oh, I have easy access." It's like the Catholic Church.
But just because you have easy access doesn't mean you have to do it. If
I'm not gonna do it, but like,
no,
I'm just like,
no, I know, but I'm just saying, if
dear,
you're
dear
a
Christ,
sane,
I will not fucking do that.
if you're a sane human being, no matter no matter what, you're gonna go, well, no, I'm not doing that because that's horrible. You know.
But there's always like the risk of being like accused of something you've not done.
Yeah,
and it's like also I've also like I said, okay, maybe I'll do that, but I'll try doing it on my main channel where I just do like normal Minecraft. But also I want to remove kind of swearing from my content because I swear a lot. I swear way too much on my content.
I'm a big
streams.
Swear boy. I do love a swear.
And a new thing I want to implement in my just general rules is if you're under the age of 18, don't private message me.
I mean, yeah.
Like on Discord, sometimes people like viewers would message me and like, I know they're like 14, 15 years old, but I'm like, I don't want to be doing that. I'm 31 years old. I don't want to be having a private conversation with a 14, 15-year-old. There's nothing against the viewers. Like, and let me just preface, I have nothing against my viewers that are messaging me, like asking me questions like that. I understand why sometimes you don't want to publicly ask me those questions, but if you look at the situation, you'd be also really concerned if like your 15-year-old child goes with a 30-year-old man in a separate room and secretly have a conversation, and you don't know the context of the conversation. It just seems weird. You know what I mean?
I get you, but I also, in a way, disagree. Let me preface.
Okay. We're gonna have our first argument on stream.
Well, no, it's just a healthy discussion. It's fine. So I get what you're saying. Yeah, in the context that you're like, I'm physically going to take this child into a room and have a conversation with them. It's a bit weird, I guess.
Yeah.
But, I mean, but then it's only weird if it's somebody you don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't know these people, right?
Yeah,
like,
obviously.
They're my viewers. I don't know them.
But like, I've had it where like I'll have like someone will message me, but it's generally like they're messaging for a purpose. We're not just having a chat because I have other people that I chat to. You know what I mean? I have real people that I chat to. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna be friendly to somebody because I appreciate their support or the fact that, you know, when people used to ask me about computers a lot, I don't know how old they are, they'd be like, oh, my mum's gonna buy me this, and so I'd just give them advice about computers or whatever.
Makes sense, yeah.
And, you know, sometimes they'd be like, oh, but my mum thinks it's expensive, and I'm like, yeah, well, and I have to come at it from the perspective of like an adult and as a parent. I'm going, yeah, it's going to be difficult for them to understand. Yeah. You know, I'm trying to be on both sides. I'm trying to look at it as a parent, but also look at it from the perspective of this kid and go, I know it's going to suck or whatever. You might have to just save up or get a part-time job or something. So I don't mind that, but no, I agree with you. I don't want to like, I'm not going to like become mates with like a 14-year-old because that's weird.
That's the thing, because also another thing is like, you know, on the internet, this weird thing that men do and people do is like they make these weird sexual jokes to the streamer sometimes. Like, oh, you're weird. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. It's never happened to me.
I don't know. Like sometimes like, oh, I had this one guy, turned out he was like 15. I had to ban him for that. And it's just weird. It's just weird. And also, like, I always ask people, like, how old are you? And it also, if you go into the private message, like, how old are you? That's weird.
Yeah, that's weird. It's a weird thing to ask.
But it's a thing of defense. It's so, like, I felt I want to implement this. I want to implement this system because, remember, DMs can be edited and can be faked.
Okay, but in that case, never talk to anyone ever because it's all, like, this is the thing.
No, the thing is, like, I just want to be like, okay, if you talk to me, and you don't disclose your age, and I make a stupid joke, like guys do underneath guys, like, oh,
yeah,
like you look handsome, like some sexy shit, like, oh, you just I love you, or some shit like that. That guy's like, oh, by the way, I'm 15 years old. I'm like, ah,
yeah, but again, it comes down to context. And I know this is a problem with just society in general. We always end up talking about society and how shitty it is. But like, you can be accused of something and you're immediately seen as guilty. Yeah, it's not, even if you haven't done it, you have to then prove that you didn't do it. But before that, you're guilty because someone said it.
Because the thing is with sexual predators and stuff like that, if you get accused of being a pedo or a nonce, that causes a strong reaction from others. Yeah. Because it's such a terrible, horrible, atrocious, disgusting thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then people are like, oh, yeah, it makes you primally angry.
Understandably, it makes you
primal angry. But the thing is, like, there's even been cases where people have been accused of being that thing, and then they're been proven innocent, but still the public doesn't believe it. There's still people like, oh, you are that thing, and the person's like, no, I'm not that thing. And the majority of people end up in like bad situations, either alcoholic, suicide.
Yeah.
And the thing is, because we go into like content creation, we are putting ourselves on a pedestal above the common
common folk. Yeah,
the common folk.
We're opening ourselves up to be attacked in that way. Yes,
and the sense is like my wife also said to me, like you if you're going to start taking this more serious, you have to take precautionary steps. And I said, yeah, that's something I've been really thinking about for a very long time. Is being like, if you are not of a certain age, do not DM me. If you have a question for me, ask me in the public.
Yeah. I mean,
even if the question is really so private, you shouldn't be even asking me that question. Do you understand? Like, I am not your father. I'm not your friend. I am a streamer, YouTuber on the other side of a screen. You've never met me physically. It's a parasocial relationship, which honestly, if you want to be an asshole content creator, you can really foster the parasocial relationship with your viewers, and you can kind of like abuse it in a sense, so you can get more viewers and more retention. Or you could be like, look, I am just a dude making videos in his office for you or streaming for you. That's it. I'm not your friend. I'm not your best friend. I'm not like that. It should never become a parasocial relationship.
Yeah, it's like I always want to come across as friendly, personable, relatable.
Doesn't mean you're an asshole. It just means
No, I know, but I want to come across that way, and I agree with you. If someone messages you and they're like, "Oh, me and my girlfriend, we're 14. We're having trouble or something," you know what I mean? Like, you're like, "Well, that's not anything to do with me. That's not an appropriate thing that I can talk about, really." But then, in some aspects, in that situation, I'd be like, "No, it's I don't want to talk about it." But like, I don't know, if they were like, someone messaged me who was, a teenager or whatever, and they were like, I don't know. Maybe they were like had some like mental health stuff or something like. I want to help because I don't want people to feel bad. So there's a weird blurred line of like what I can help you. I want to help people. I want if someone's struggling, I want to help. Yeah. But then also there's situations where I can't help because it would be inappropriate for me to help in that situation. You know what I mean?
The thing is, what I would do, what I've ever done and always done in those situations, because it has happened a few times where people have messaged me or like mentioned in chat or something that they're going through certain life situations.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, look, if you just need someone to blurt out your situation, like, look, mom's like, just for example, like my mom's going through divorce or something like that. Fine. If you feel like you want to talk to me about it, fine. I will give you advice from my personal experiences.
Exactly. Yeah. We've both been younger. We've both been through stuff. So we've been through experience.
Stuff and I will like sometimes on chat someone said, oh, like I'm going through like, oh, you're not feeling well. Okay. Why? I broke up or something like that. Okay. I'll talk about it on stream if it's okay with you. But it's weird because I don't want to ever become an asshole. Be like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to deal with your problems. That's not my thing.
Yeah.
Like if you have an issue, if you don't want to talk about it in public,
yeah,
I get it. But the thing is, my advice is only so limiting. Most of these issues that you guys are coming to having in your lives, cannot be solved by a YouTuber or by a streamer by talking to their DMs. You can only do so much with advice. 90% of the work is done by yourself.
Yeah. But they might look to you as somebody that they like watching or whatever, as somebody that they respect, and so they're going to listen to your opinion. I mean, your opinion will be, you know, if they're struggling, you know, we talk to somebody, talk to a professional, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But because it's come from you, it might actually
resonate more.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And I really appreciate
situation.
That. It's a difficult situation, but also, again, like I said, it's something that I love. It's so weird. So weird. I like helping people.
Yeah.
But this is why I do this, because doing streaming, doing YouTube videos, doing this entertainment stuff, it's not because, well, I love it, but it's also a way of my therapy, because it's how I dealt with my past traumas of like going through shit that I've gone through. It's like I would watch videos on the internet, laugh at stuff. Humor and comedy has always been a way for me to deal with my shit.
Yeah, it's exactly the same situation for me. It's like, it's good for me to do this stuff because it helps me, and I feel better for doing it, and it helps my mental health and my situations and stuff.
Yeah.
But I also like the idea that, you know, my stupid video might make somebody laugh, and just one person laughs at it. If it's good for them and they enjoy it, then that's worth it.
And if it helps them deal with, like, if my video or stream helps someone in a moment to smile in a moment of darkness, that makes all the hours of unpaid work worth it.
100%.
Worth it. And it's hard. Like I said, like I want to defend myself in the sense of like I want to protect myself. You want to build a wall around yourself to protect yourself from any worst case scenarios.
But you also
you don't want to block yourself off from any, like, you don't want to become that person that's like, some streamers or YouTubers have Discords.
Yeah.
And they're like not there. They're just there for 5 seconds and then they leave again.
Uh-huh.
And then the community is under just talking, like it's like a subreddit from Reddit, basically. Then there's zero interaction with the content creator because they're like, oh, I don't want to get involved with this.
It's just
community. For you guys. It's just for the community. And I've always felt I always want to be a hands-on person when it comes to the community because I like interacting, talking to the people, like getting to know my viewers better.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, the bigger the channel gets, the more the people come, the more it's difficult to deal with that. Like you get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But I don't want to become like a cut-off content creator. I always want to be an open person to people. But then again, also
you got to protect yourself because you don't want to get into. Yeah, I get it. It's like I've worked with, you know, there's like some guy or whatever on Twitter who does like 3D printing and stuff, and I think he's a kid. I've never asked him his age, but he says like, "Oh, I've got school next week, so I can't." But he's like, he's good at 3D printing, and I'm like, "I'll pay you to 3D print me some stuff," and I'm like, "That I think you know that's a professional relationship if you want to say that." You know, we've never been like, "Oh, I'm really sad about this thing," but like, you know, like, it happens with like editors and stuff. Oh my god, you can be like a kid and be like a fucking whiz at editing.
Yeah.
And dude, we should embrace that and be like, dude, you're sick at editing. Like, I'll pay you to edit my videos or whatever because you're really good at it. Just because you're a kid doesn't mean that you should go, I can't soz. You might be amazing at it, but you're not 18, so I can't employ you.
The thing is, like, I always want to foster my community in the sense of like, if I find someone that's super talented in my community, I want to highlight that person.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I did it for a while where I had like special Discord channels for people that I found particularly entertaining or they were doing something cool, amazing. I was like, look, here's your place. You can post links and submit and stuff like that. But the problem is my community is so small that it didn't make really it's not logistically sensible. It didn't make a lot of sense to do that.
Yeah.
But it's also a way for me to say thank you to those people for supporting me, you know? Like, I want to give a bit back and stuff like that.
I mean, if like, you know, there's an artist that's really good and, you know, you use them for emotes or whatever, I'll share that about. I mean, I know it might not be a lot. Obviously, I'll pay them for their work or whatever. So there's that. But if I can help in any way by going like, oh, check them out if anybody needs emotes or whatever, fair enough. Even if it's only to a small amount of people, you're trying to help. And it's like it's an extra thing you didn't have to do, but you're going to do it because you're anyway, like, they're good. I want them to be successful in what they do, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, I get it.
I'll add a channel for you in the Discord channel, Colesy.
You're gonna add a channel for me?
Yeah.
What am I gonna do with it?
Spam your shit.
Pictures of my cat.
I mean, Discord is a quite useful tool, but yeah.
I just don't understand it. That's the problem.
Discord is it's a communication tool.
I mean, I use it for like talking to people, messaging. Obviously, we're doing this on Discord.
Yeah.
And I have a bunch of servers that I'm in because it's a game I'm interested in. So I talk to the developers or I try and get a key or whatever, stuff like that. But like actually like managing my own Discord, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I don't know what channels should I have. If I put a channel that's just like, oh, post your pictures in here, are people just going to spam pictures? And I'm going to go, I honestly don't really care about any of these. And I don't think anybody else wants to see. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but like sometimes people just don't want to see your pictures of your cat repeatedly. Like, they just don't. That's what Twitter's for. Just put it on Twitter.
The thing is, Discords are good for building and fostering community for them to interact with each other.
Yeah, that's cool. I get that. That's awesome.
It's vital. It's a vital thing to do because, like, on platforms like Twitch, YouTube, and other video services, your community is very segmented. Like, they're very separate, like spread out. Video comes out, they all come to watch the video. They go to the comments, and comments is never worth it. You can't have a conversation in the comments. Stream, you see people in the chat. That's it. Yeah, but stream ends. That's it. The community flocks away.
Yeah.
So with the Discord is what the idea behind it is like you pull them back to one position. So they kind of become a hive mind about your content. It's like, oh, Rapskilian posted a new video. Let's go all check it out together. And then maybe talk about the video in the Discord. Doesn't happen in mine because my Discord doesn't like me anymore. Cool. I post a video and someone's like, I liked it for you, Rap. You shouldn't say that. You should actually like the video because you like it.
Yeah, well, I mean, see, that's the same thing. I feel like I'm just like not at a stage yet where it would have enough people in it to really be worthwhile. I mean, I have a Discord. If you want to join the Discord, you can join the Discord. That's fine. Like, you know, and if you want to talk to me in there, I guess I'll get a notification if you tag me in it. But for like all the other stuff where you guys are talking to each other or whatever, sometimes I'm not going to be there, and sometimes I'm going to miss it, and sometimes I'm not going to like the picture of your cat just because I'm busy doing other shit and I can't sit in Discord all day. There's not enough hours in the day to do all this stuff. My brain has only so much space, okay? I try and learn new things sometimes, and I just like figuring out how a Discord works and how to put bots in there and all that stuff. My brain, I haven't got time to do it. It sounds like I'm like, oh, he's so busy. And no, I'm just an idiot and I don't know how to do it. I need somebody that I trust to be able to be like, I'll mod and run it, and I'll be like, cool. And I'll give you a t-shirt. I don't know. I've got nothing to give you, but I can try. I don't know.
I'm very lucky with one of my mods, Knowles. He reworked my whole Discord channel and made it a very functional place. Mm-hmm. Like he'll randomly, I gave him full control. He's like randomly remove channels or like rearrange or rewrite channels and like add things to this Discord and like that. He's like, is that okay? I'm like, yeah, that's good. It's good job, Knowles. Knowles doing a great job, Knowles. I do have somebody that set up my entire channel and like has admin or whatever rights to it, and they're fine. But obviously, if they get to a stage where they're like, I don't really want to do it, or I'm bored, or I'm busy with real life stuff. Yeah.
I can't blame them, and I can't take over because I don't understand anything.
I just added a new feature to the Discord where it's like you can make AI generated pictures.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
That's gonna probably go down very fun. People are just gonna make a bunch of weird shit.
Oh, dude, I've been doing that since I found like the Discord to do it. I just went on there and was like, Darth Vader in space, and
you could just. By the way, on my Discord, you can do that without having to like wait times or tokens, stuff like that. You can just go crazy, go ham.
See, you've got clever stuff in there. It's the same with like streaming. It's like there's so many cool things that people have, and I have none of it because I don't understand any of it. I don't know how to make it work, but I'll figure it out maybe.
We'll figure it out.
Stream stuff I can figure out a little bit better.
Yeah, I saw the night video. Good video, by the way.
Oh, what the
ding.
The ding one. Yeah, see, that was the thing I had to figure out for myself because I was like, I need this, otherwise I can't function, and so I had to sort it.
I have a video It's going to be coming out this week or maybe next week. And it depends when the person writes me the message. And it's going to be for YouTube streamers. And if I can get my video early enough, it's going to be an exclusive. And people are, it's something that I've been asking for a very long time. And it's finally going to come out. And it's going to be really awesome.
Okay, everyone keep your eyes peeled on Raps's channel. It's our own podcast. We're allowed to self-promote ourselves, I think. That's fine.
Yeah. So... It's been an hour.
I just wanted to sit there in silence and see how long you'd sit there until you said something. Okay, well, thank you everybody for coming to the episode, watching the episode, listening to the episode, whatever you did. Check out all our links. There's less links now because we're basically not on Twitch. So
handles are out now
on YouTube. Yeah. I've been trying to tag you in.
It's working.
Okay, cool. I don't really understand how it works. Again, I'm just a stupid man. I'm a stupid man. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time.
Bye!
Bye!